Hey guys, this is Matt with Hydroponics.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the CANNA Nutrient lineup. CANNA Nutrients are all produced in the Netherlands, so extremely high quality across the board. These are all used in a lot of very large commercial greenhouses and production gardens, so they've been tested and tried a ton. They're shipped over here and distributed across the country, but they're have some exclusive dealers, so you have to kind of search them out. First we'll look up as the bases, so we're going to talk about the bases first, and then we'll go to the additives next. The way that CANNA separates their bases is going to be dependent on system and medium. So first figure out what system or medium you're using, and then figure out the corresponding base that CANNA makes for that, and then we're going to go ahead and apply the same additives no matter what the base is. So first we'll look at the hydroponic bases. They're hydroponic base for recirculating systems. Any hydroponic system that's going to use the water over and over again, drain into a tank, and then go back to the plants, we're going to want to use the Aqua series. So the Aqua Vega and Aqua Flora, it's 2 bottles for veg. It's going to be the Aqua Vega A and B for veg, and then when we go into flora, we're going to flowers, we're going to go to Aqua Flora's A and B, and then we're going to apply the same additives all the way through. They also make a hydroponic base for hydroponic systems that are going to have a drain to waste. Anytime you're doing a top feed drain to waste or a drip system that's just draining away, it's called their Substra line. They have a Substra Vega and a Substra Floras. You use Substra Vega in veg and Substra Floras in flower, and then the same additives. So make sure you get the right one depending on what hydroponic system you're using. It makes a big difference. Next we'll look at the Coco. This is probably the most popular one they sell across the board. CANNA was the first company to create a nutrient specifically designed to run with cocoa, so they're the oldest at it. They know the most about it. There's a lot of competitors and they're all coming real close, but these guys kind of started the whole movement. And so the Coco is the only one out of their lineup that doesn't use 1 part for veg and 1 part for flower. They use the equal parts of A and B all the way through veg and flower. So you're not going to ever separate them. You're always going to use equal parts. You're just going to shift how much you're using over the course of the run. So you're going to use the Coco A and B if you're running in Coco Core, and then of course we're going to go to the additives here in a second, but you're going to use the same additives that these guys are using, just change your base. And then next up we have the Terra line. The Terra is meant to be run with any kind of soil or soilless that's been pre-fertilized. Any kind of medium that has fertilization already in it, you're going to want to use the Terra. CANNA also makes a medium called Terra, which is a lightly nutrified soil mix. If you want to use their blend, we also carry it. So that's a great way to start, but if you're using any kind of soilless or soil medium that has any food in it, you're going to want to use the Terra. Once again, it's the 1 part for veg, 1 part for flower, and then the additives are going to be added on top of it. And last but not least is their all organic line, the bio line. This is made from a high quality beet sugar extract, so it's like a beet vinyasa base. This is all organic. It's great for organic gardening across the board, indoor, outdoor. They use a 1 part veg and then a 1 part flower, and they also have their own organic additives. Over here I have their Bio Rhizotonic and their Bio Boost, and so I would recommend using their organic bases as well. So next up, we're going to talk about CANNA's additives. As we said before, the additives are going to be used the same regardless of base. It's just the same set of additives applied to different bases. The only exception to that rule is the 2 organic additives over here that we're going to use only if we're using the all organic base. If you're using synthetics, it's going to be the same set of additives and pretty much the same quantities as well. So first up, we're going to look at the Rhizotonic. The Rhizotonic is an algae-based plant and root stimulator. It helps to promote vigorous root growth. It helps green the plant up. It's got some micronutrients in it. It protects the plant from disease and pests a little bit more just by giving it a very healthy, rigid stalk, rigid leaf tissue, and overall just health of the plant. It's great for any kind of seedlings, cuttings, early veg, transitional periods, especially during transplants, and even into early flower. I recommend using it. If you're not running CANNA, but you're looking for a really high quality like kelp product basically and root stimulator, Rhizotonic is a great one to start with. Next up is going to be the CANNAzyme. CANNAzyme is a mixture of 12 different enzymes with some plant desert extracts as well as a B1 and B2 in there. It's designed to do the majority of breaking down roots, does a couple other things with nutrient uptake, water absorption and retention, but mostly it has to do with root breakdown. The natural process, a root dies off, it breaks down, becomes plant food, microbial food. We're just going to expedite that process with an enzyme product. If you have a slower metabolizing plant or the room's a little cool and that process happens and you don't have an enzyme around, you could be susceptible to pathogens moving in. Dead roots are great places for bad bacteria to call home. So we do want to break those down and turn those back into plant food and microbial food as quick as possible, and the CANNAzyme kind of expedites that process. The other role that CANNAzyme plays is that when you're using the CANNA Coco, the CANNA Coco core itself, the medium can be reused, which is great for the environment, sustainable for you, and cheaper for you to do. The way they do that is basically remove the root ball with a serrated knife and then soak the medium with a mixture of CANNAzyme and the veg solution of cocoa, and then soak that until the EC of that cocoa comes out at about the level that you want for the plant that you're putting into that container. CANNAzyme is a really important part in that process. It's going to break down all those dead roots from the last run and get the medium ready to receive a new plant so that it can create some new roots in that medium. Once again, if you're not running CANNA and you're looking for a high quality enzyme product, CANNAzyme is a great one to start with. Next up is the CANNA Boost. This is really popular amongst the community. It runs with all their lines, even in hydroponic. It's a bloom enhancer, and so some of the other companies' bloom enhancers have a hard time running in hydroponics. This one is really water soluble, and we haven't seen any issue with biofilming or any of that kind of stuff when we run it with hydro. It's basically a bloom enhancer, so it's going to increase the fruit size, the hardness, the flavor, the aroma, overall yield and quality. It increases photosynthesis, which helps, and it also gives free energy to the plant, so it's definitely some kind of simple sugar basically. The plant can store that up and then use that when it needs it, or top off its already reserves. So it all around just increases, a really high quality finished product, from flavor to aroma to just yield. And so highly recommend to add it to any line, but it's very important just to keep everything as high quality as possible and your yields up. And then next up is we have the PK1314. PK1314 is a high quality mix of phosphorus and potassium, which are really important, a majority in flower. And that's where phosphorus is really important for just overall health of the plant, vigor of the plant, nutrient uptake. And then also, I would almost say it's like your limiting factor when it comes to the energy of the plant. It's usually the first thing that we see in deficiencies during flowers, phosphorus. And then second up is potassium. Potassium gets used later in flower than phosphorus does, so we usually see phosphorus first, potassium next. Potassium is also really important to plant rigidity, the density, that hardening up at the end of flower is really important. With potassium is going to help you with that. So this is just their strong phosphorus potassium mix to add to their line to give you that spike right in the middle towards the end of flower with your P and your K. And then next up we have is their CANNA Start. CANNA Start's their 1-part nutrient for seedlings and cuttings. This is just kind of a thing that reduces the risk of having a bad mix or overfeeding, underfeeding, anything like that. It's just done for you. So if you want to just keep things super simple, you got clones, cuttings, seedlings, and you don't want to be mixing anything, the 1-part CANNA Start is the easiest thing you can throw at them with a little bit of Rhizotonic, and it's a great mixture for any veg or seedling plant. And then last over here we have a couple of the organic additives. The reason that we don't have all of them here is because the CANNAzyme gets used with the organic bases. This is organic, so they don't need to make an organic version of it. At the end of the day, these additives all get added to any of these bases the same way. There's no shift depending on what medium or what base you're using. It's just going to be all the same additives added to any of the same bases. So it makes it really easy. There is no picking and choosing. The only thing you have to make sure is you're using the right base, and then grab all the additives and you're ready to go. So CANNA Nutrients, super high quality, and if you look around, it's being used all over the country with really great results. A lot of people, especially beginners, have had great results with the CANNA Coco. It makes things just super simple, and then all the way up to like the larger hydroponic systems with the Aqua and the Substra. So all this stuff's available on our website. I hope this video helped you guys out. Come check us out, and we'll see you next time.